In 605 BC, Jerusalem's walls collapsed like a stock market crash under heavy selling pressure. The mighty Babylonian Empire, led by King Nebuchadnezzar, launched a full-scale takeover of Judah. Eventually, Jerusalem fell. The temple's sacred treasures were seized like assets in liquidation, and people were carried off as if investors were forced into exile after a market wipeout. Among the captives were noble youths, Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, gifted and handsome, like promising stocks moved into a foreign market. The king ordered these youths into his palace for a 3-year training program, learning Babylon's language and wisdom like grooming assets to serve in his empire. They entered Babylon, a dazzling market with golden palaces and hanging gardens. Yet, in this foreign exchange, their hearts longed for Jerusalem and loyalty to Israel's God. The palace offered them rich food and wine, but they realized it had been dedicated to idols. To eat it would break God's law and betray their faith. So Daniel boldly asked the chief official, "Please give us only vegetables and water. We don't want to defile ourselves." At first the guard feared they'd look weak, but Daniel said, "Just test us 10 days. Afterward they looked healthier and finer than the others, so they kept their faith and avoided unclean food. God honored their loyalty with wisdom and insight. Daniel received the gift to understand dreams and visions. The 4 surpassed all others, and even King Nebuchadnezzar marveled at their wisdom. Thus, in a foreign land, Daniel and his friends laid the greatest foundation of their lives. Wherever they were, they never forgot God's law and kept a deep reverence for the Lord. Night fell over the palace, lamps flickered, and all was still except King Nebuchadnezzar. He had a terrifying, profound dream, but awoke unsettled, unable to recall it. At dawn, the herald knocked at the palace door. Magicians, Chaldeans, and diviners hurried in. King Nebuchadnezzar ordered coldly, "First tell me the dream I saw, then give the meaning. If you cannot tell it, you will be torn apart, and your houses reduced to ruins. But if you can, you'll receive reward and honor." The men looked at each other in fear, furious. King Nebuchadnezzar decreed that all the wise men of the land be put to death. Fear spread quickly through the city. Arioch, the captain of the guard, went out with soldiers to carry out the order, and found young Daniel with his friends Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Calmly, Daniel asked the reason, then urged Arioch to take him to the king. He requested time to reveal the dream's meaning, and the king agreed. That night Daniel returned home, shut the doors and windows, and with his 3 friends prayed to the God for mercy that he would reveal the mystery so they would perish with Babylon's wise men. The mystery was revealed to Daniel in a vision. Darkness parted like a curtain, and scene after scene unfolded before his eyes. When he awoke, Daniel first praised the God of heaven, the one who controls times and seasons, who sets up and removes kings, and who gives wisdom and knowledge. Daniel told the king, "No wise man can explain this mystery, but the God of heaven reveals what will come. It is not my wisdom, but that you may know what is in your heart." He said, "O king, you saw a great statue, dazzling and awesome. Its head was gold, chest and arms, silver, belly and thighs, bronze, legs iron, and feet partly iron, partly clay. As you watched, a stone cut without human hands rolled down from a mountain and struck the statue's feet of iron and clay, and they shattered at once. Then iron, clay, bronze, silver, and gold were crushed together, blown away like chaff in the wind, but the stone became a great mountain that filled the whole earth." The king's eyes widened, his breath quickened. This was the very dream that had troubled him, yet slipped away. In the hall, all held their breath in silence. Daniel said, "O king, the golden head is you and your Babylonian empire given power and glory by God. After you will rise another kingdom, inferior to yours, like silver to gold." Daniel added, "A kingdom of bronze will rule the earth." This pointed to Greece, where Alexander the Great swiftly conquered the known world after Persia. "A 4th kingdom, strong as iron, crushing and breaking all things," Daniel said. This foretold Rome, which ruled after Greece, 146 BC, AD 476, fall of the Western Empire. As for the feet and toes, partly iron and partly clay, It shows the kingdom will be divided strong, in part yet brittle. They will join but not truly unite, just as iron cannot mix with clay. In the days of those kings, the God of heaven will set up a kingdom never to be destroyed. Like the stone not cut by hands, it will crush all others and stand forever. The dream is true. Gold head Babylon, silver chest, Medo-Persia, bronze belly Greece, iron legs Rome, feet of iron and clay divided weak powers. The stone God's kingdom, not human-made, but everlasting. The hall fell silent. When Daniel finished, King Nebuchadnezzar rose from his throne, bowed before him, and ordered rich gifts to be presented. He declared, "Truly, your God is the God of gods, the Lord of kings, and the revealer of mysteries." The king promoted Daniel, gave him great gifts, and set him over all Babylon and its wise men. At Daniel's request, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah were placed in office while he remained at court. That day the death decree was lifted, and fear left the city. Young Daniel took no glory for himself, but pointed clearly to the God of heaven who gave the light that night. As time passed, King Nebuchadnezzar grew proud again. Though he had once admitted the power of the God of heaven, he now longed for all people to worship only him. So he set up a huge golden statue on the plain of Babylon, 60 cubits high and 6 cubits wide, about 27 meters tall, gleaming with shining gold. The decree went out. Officials and people of every nation, at the sound of horns, harps, pipes, and all music, must bow to the statue. Whoever refused would be thrown into the blazing furnace. That day, under the blazing sun, crowds bowed as music filled the plain. Only 3 stood tall: Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, friends of Daniel, devoted since youth to worship Israel's God alone. Some Chaldeans rushed to the king and said, "O king, all bow to the image you set up except the Jews, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They do not serve you or worship your statue." Nebuchadnezzar, furious, summoned them and demanded sharply, "Is it true you refuse to serve my gods or bow to the golden image I set up? When you hear the music again, bow to the statue, and it will be well. If not, you'll be thrown into the blazing furnace." "What God can deliver you from my hand?" shouted Nebuchadnezzar. They replied calmly, "O king, we need not defend ourselves. The God we serve can rescue us from the blazing furnace. But even if he does not, we will never serve your gods or worship your image." At this, the king's face grew dark with rage. He ordered the furnace heated 7 times hotter and commanded his strongest soldiers to bind the 3 and throw them in. The flames roared, and the heat surged so fiercely that the soldiers near the furnace were slain at once. Bound tightly, the 3 men fell into the blazing fire. As all watched, a wonder appeared. The king leapt up in fear and cried, "Did we not throw in 3 men bound? Yet I see 4 walking unharmed in the fire, and the 4th looks like a son of the gods." Nebuchadnezzar hurried to the furnace and shouted, "Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, servants of the Most High God, come out!" They walked out unharmed, and the officials marveled that not a hair was singed. The king declared, "Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He sent his angel to save them. No other God can deliver this way. Let none in any nation speak against him or be destroyed." Babylon's palace was grand, its hanging gardens lush. From his high terrace, King Nebuchadnezzar often gazed with pride, forgetting his dream and thinking all glory was his own doing. One night, the king dreamed again, and fear struck his heart. He summoned the wise men, but none among them could explain the vision. Daniel was brought in. The king said, "I dreamed of a tree, tall to the heavens, visible to all. Its leaves were lush, fruit abundant, birds nested in its branches, beasts rested beneath it. A voice from heaven ordered, 'Cut down the tree, leave the stump bound with iron and bronze in the field. Let his mind be changed to a beast until 7 years pass, till he knows the Most High rules.'" Daniel grew pale and silent, then spoke carefully. "O king, may the dream be for your enemies. The tree is you, your power has grown great, and your glory reaches to all the earth. But you will be driven away to live like a beast in the fields, eating grass like cattle, until 7 times pass, and you acknowledge the Most High rules over all nations." A year later, Nebuchadnezzar on his palace roof, he boasted, "Is this not Babylon I built for my glory?" Before he finished, a voice from heaven said, "Your kingdom is taken from you." At once his mind left him. Driven from the palace, he lived like a beast, eating grass in the fields. His body was drenched with dew, hair grew like eagle's feathers, nails like bird's claws. After 7 years, in his humility he looked to heaven, and his sanity returned. He confessed, "The Most High's rule is eternal. His kingdom endures, and none can stop his hand. His throne was restored, and his glory increased." Nebuchadnezzar left this testimony, "Those who walk in pride he is able to humble, but the humble he lifts up." Years later, Belshazzar became king of Babylon. He held a great feast for 1,000 nobles, drinking from the gold and silver vessels from Jerusalem's temple, praising idols of gold, silver, bronze. He ordered the gold and silver vessels taken from Jerusalem's temple to be brought, and he and his guests drank from them while praising idols of gold, silver, bronze, iron, wood, and stone. In the deep night, Babylon still blazed with lights. In a dream, Daniel saw a startling vision. The 4 winds churned the great sea, and from it rose 4 mighty beasts, each different from the other. One was like a lion with eagle's wings, fierce and mighty. As Daniel watched, its wings were torn off. It was lifted to stand on 2 feet like a man, and a human heart was given to it. The second was like a bear, raised up on one side, with 3 ribs in its mouth. A voice said to it, "Arise, devour much flesh." The third was like a leopard with 4 bird wings on its back and 4 heads, and authority was given to it. The fourth was unlike the others, terrifying and strong, with iron teeth and bronze claws, devouring and crushing, trampling what remained. It had 10 horns. Then a little horn rose, uprooting 3, with human eyes and a mouth speaking proud words. Daniel, shaken, saw the Ancient of Days seated on his throne. His robe was white as snow, his hair like pure wool. The throne was fire with wheels of flame. The 4 beasts are 4 kingdoms. God's people will inherit the kingdom forever. The 4th beast is a strong empire. Its 10 horns are 10 kings, and a little horn is another ruler who defeats 3. He will speak against God, oppress his people, and try to change laws and times. For about 3.5 years, the saints will be under his power. This vision shook Daniel deeply. His face grew pale, and he kept the matter in his heart. In Belshazzar's 3rd year, Daniel saw another vision. He seemed by the Ulai River a ram with 2 horns. It charged west, north, and south, unstoppable and growing powerful. A goat came from the west with a large horn. It struck the ram and broke its horns. The goat grew strong, but at its peak the horn broke, and 4 horns rose to the 4 winds. The ram with 2 horns is Media and Persia. The goat is Greece. The great horn is its first king, Alexander. When it broke, 4 weaker kingdoms rose in his place. During Belshazzar's feast, a hand appeared and wrote glowing words on the palace wall. "Mean, mean, tekel, parson." The king turned pale, knees knocking, terrified. The wise men were called, but none could explain. Then the queen said, "O king, there is a man named Daniel, once honored by Nebuchadnezzar. He has the Spirit of God and can reveal mysteries. Call him." Daniel was brought in. Belshazzar promised him purple robes, a gold chain, and high rank. But Daniel said, "Keep your gifts. I will still tell you what the writing means." Daniel said, "Your father Nebuchadnezzar grew proud, and God humbled him until he knew heaven rules. But you have not humbled yourself. Instead, you drank from God's temple cups and praised idols. This is the writing. Mean, God has numbered your days and ended your kingdom. Tekel, you have been weighed and found lacking. Pairs, your kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and Persians." That night, the Persians entered Babylon through the dried riverbed. Belshazzar was slain, the empire fell, and Darius the Mede took over the kingdom. King Darius set up his rule over Persia. He valued Daniel for his honesty and planned to place him in charge of the whole kingdom. The other officials grew jealous. They urged the king, "Make a decree that for 30 days, anyone who prays to any god or man but you will be thrown into the lion's den." Darius, unwary, sealed it. But Daniel, as always, prayed 3 times a day. He opened his windows toward Jerusalem, knelt down, and gave thanks to God. His enemies caught him praying and reported to Darius. The king was distressed and tried till sunset to save him, but the law could not be changed. So he ordered Daniel thrown into the lion's den. The king told him sadly, "Your God, whom you serve, will save you." A stone was placed and sealed over the den. That night the king fasted, sleepless and troubled. At dawn the king hurried to the lion's den and cried out, "Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God, whom you serve continually, been able to rescue you from the lions?" A clear voice came from the den. "O king, live forever. My God sent his angel to shut the lions' mouths. They have not hurt me, for I was found innocent before him, and have done no wrong to you." The king rejoiced and had Daniel lifted out, unharmed because he trusted God. Then he ordered his accusers and their families thrown to the lions, who attacked and tore them apart at once. Then King Darius issued a decree that all must fear the God of Daniel. He is the living God. His kingdom will never end. His rule is eternal. He saves and works wonders, delivering from the lions. Daniel read Jeremiah and understood the exile would last 70 years. So he fasted in sackcloth and ashes, and prayed, confessing the sins of Judah and the people. As Daniel prayed, Gabriel came and said, 77s are set for your people and city to finish sin, remove guilt, bring righteousness, seal vision, and anoint the most holy." 77s are divided in 3 parts. First, 7 sevens, 49 years, from the decree to rebuild Jerusalem until the holy city is restored. Then 62 sevens is 434 years. From the rebuilding of the city until the Anointed One, the Messiah, appears. Together with the first 49 years, that makes 483 years in all. The final 7 years. In this time the Messiah will be cut off, and the temple and city destroyed again. Many see this as the end-time tribulation, half peace, half suffering. Around 536 BC, in Cyrus's 3rd year, Daniel mourned his people's troubles and fasted 3 weeks, no rich food, no wine, no oil during the month of Nisan, near Passover. On the 24th day, Daniel looked up and saw a vision. A man in linen with a belt of gold, face like lightning, eyes like fire, arms and feet like shining bronze, and a voice like a crowd. This vision revealed the spiritual realm. Behind Persia stood dark powers. Yet God's angels were fighting against them. The angel said, "From the first day you sought understanding and humbled yourself, your prayer was heard, and I came. But the prince of Persia resisted me 21 days, until Michael came to help me." In the years of Persia, by the Tigris Daniel fell to the ground before the Glorious One, hearing the angel's steady voice as if a scroll of history unfolded before his eyes. The angel said, "The south and north kings will fight for years, making and breaking alliances. The Ptolemies of Egypt and Seleucids of Syria clashed, and God's people suffered in between. In the north a contemptible man will rise, not by rightful rule but by deceit. Proud and cruel, he will defile the temple, stop sacrifices, and set up the abomination that causes desolation." The angel said, "In the end this evil king will exalt himself above all gods and do as he pleases, but his fate is set. When his time comes, none will help him." Daniel felt heavy in heart. Realizing the vision spoke of rising and falling nations, the temple's ruin, and even the last days to come. Angel Michael said, "In the end there will be great trouble, but God's people in the book will be saved. Many will rise, some to life, some to shame. The wise will shine like stars forever." The angel told Daniel, "You will rest in peace, and at the end of days you will rise again to receive your allotted inheritance."